Hello and welcome, this is Best Foot Forward Shoes. My name is Harrison Cable. Thank you so much for checking out this video. It's really appreciated. Today we are looking at the latest ASICS and PLEASURES collaboration on this GEL-NYC model. So the GEL-NYC from ASICS is a shoe that is inspired by New York. It is a very chunky, comfortable sneaker from ASICS. It was debuted this year and we have seen a bunch of different colorways. I myself have picked up 2 other colorways of this shoe. We've had multiple awesome collaborations and this latest one from PLEASURES might be one of the best. The mix of chunky brown aesthetics around the base here and then these really nice floral tonal pinks around the heel and around the front foot as well are really nice, and they really complement each other. If you did not know, PLEASURES is a streetwear brand based in Los Angeles. They were founded in 2015 and they have done a fair few collaborations with Adidas now, and this is their latest one and the first on this GEL-NYC silhouette. So these released last week here in Australia and worldwide on the PLEASURES store and also on the ASICS store and multiple other boutiques like Above the Clouds and Up There. It was a very easy shoe to get. This definitely is still sitting in some places and in some sizes. It's not completely sold out, but it's not totally available. You can see a little bit of hype around the shoe, but honestly, it wasn't the most hyped collaboration or release of the year from ASICS, which is fine. Not always trying to get the hype shoes, but I just wanted to tell you that you can still grab this shoe if after this review you feel like picking it up. ASICS is continuing their hot streak this year. They are definitely solidifying themselves as one of the biggest brands in the streetwear sneaker space. Over the last year, if not 2 years, they've been super hot, and brands like PLEASURES, who are usually like a streetwear clothing kind of brand, getting a really nice, beautiful collaboration with ASICS kind of shows the trajectory that some of these brands like ASICS are on, trying to get with more of those streetwear brands and showing that collaboration that usually was only reserved for like Jordans and streetwear brands. So now these brands are wanting to get onto the ASICS and New Balance train, jumping onto the Y2K kind of chunky runner aesthetic that is incredibly hot right now. Before I get into the materials, I did just want to say a quick thank you to everyone who has subscribed. We literally jumped over 80 subscribers in the last week. I wanted to thank everybody who has subscribed, all of the people who are new here. Thank you so much. It's so awesome to see. Thank you for watching our latest podcast episode. Thank you for all the feedback and awesome comments on those. If you do want to join the subscribing train that we've been on recently, we are trying to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the year, which to me is just incredible. I can't believe we're even close to that. So thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed so far. Let's get on to the materials. So let's start from the bottom of the shoe with the materials. So first of all, you have this classic ASICS GEL-NYC sole. It is done in a completely brown tonal color. It reminds me a lot of like dark chocolate. It's something that it doesn't have a lot of color variation in it. As you can tell, it's very minimal color blocking, and that kind of goes around onto the side of the outsole here, pretty much all the way around. It's in this exact same color. You do have a couple of pieces of TPU providing some extra torsional rigidity down here around the midfoot. You have some very nice cushioned nubs around the front foot and also on the back here. You do have the classic ASICS gel pads that are just around the heel here. Of course, that's where it gets its name from, the ASICS gel. And I'll get onto the sizing and comfort just a little bit later, but this outsole is your classic ASICS NYC. It is very comfortable, it's very chunky, it provides a lot of stability, it's very nice. Moving from the bottom up to the upper here, we have a really nice nubuck suede running all the way around the heel and all the way to the front of the foot right here. So this is in a very short nubuck suede here. It is kind of a lighter color than the rubber, which is also in a very dark brown. So they're keeping a similar sort of color palette all the way around, but just changing up the material to a little bit more of a nubuck here. It is double stitched, so it is done very nicely. It's attached very nicely to the shoe. The construction on ASICS shoes is always awesome. I do really appreciate that about ASICS. On the mudguard, we do have a little bit of a longer suede. It is like a long-haired suede that's kind of seen around the front here. It is therefore a little bit darker, which is again adding to the complexity of the different kind of shades of brown all over this shoe. That same shade is also around the eyelets here, and you can also see that exact same shade on the laces. So the brown on this shoe is not all the same color, it's not all the same material, but they're definitely continuing that brown color palette throughout, which is really, really nice. Moving along to the pink elements of this shoe. So obviously the main colors are pink and brown, but you also have a little bit of yellow as well. I'll get onto that in a second. First of all, the pink nubuck on this shoe is probably some of the best nubuck I've ever seen on an ASICS shoe. It is almost flawless. I literally could not see a stitch out of place. This shoe, as I said before, is incredibly well constructed, and the cutouts of the paneling really add kind of a layering effect to the shoe. It really does go from like the bottom layer, and then you can kind of see the added layers on top of it, adding to a, I don't know, almost like a, can you imagine those geometry photos you'd see where you'd see the different layers of dirt and stone? That's kind of how this shoe feels, especially with its kind of brown and nature colors that are all over the shoe. You have a really tight knit polyester upper as well. It's not incredibly breathable. That's just around the toe here, and then also on the side of the foot. It's not very breathable, but it is still very comfortable. And lastly, there's some pink polyester padding around the tongue and also around the back of the heel here. So you can definitely see the difference in the color. It's more of a muted suede pink around the toe and around the side here. And then it's a much more vibrant pink around the ankle here. The last material that I will talk about is this ASICS logo. So normally with the ASICS GEL NYC, it obviously has an ASICS logo, but it is done in either a very flat style synthetic material, but this one, it seems that they've raised it up a little bit and put on this glossy plastic synthetic material. And it's mainly done in this yellow, as you can see. So it's definitely an added feature that you don't usually see on ASICS GEL NYCs. Not that it really adds a huge amount to the performance aspect of this shoe, but it definitely does add to the looks of the shoe and adds a nice kind of shiny reflective piece to the shoe, which is usually, it's mostly done in like a flat matte kind of colors. So that little pop of yellow around the side there is really, really nice. There are some more yellow embroidered hits. As you can see, the ASICS logo right there is done in a embroidered yellow stitching, and then you also have gel on the back in that yellow as well. So overall, the colors on these shoes and the materials are very, very nice. It's very, very well put together. It feels solid. It's actually heavier than you'd think. It definitely has a lot more going on than first meets the eye. One thing I have been noticing lately with collaborations is, and some people have been talking about this, we did talk about it on a podcast recently, is that some brands definitely don't feel like they are co-branded when they do a collaboration. So some brands might have their logo on the shoe, but they might not really show it predominantly, and you can't really tell that it is a collaboration unless you know you know. That is definitely not the case with this shoe. So as you can tell, it literally says Pleasures, which is the streetwear brand, right on the toe there. There is absolutely no wonder who this shoe is by. It's really nice. It's actually on both sides of the shoe, left and the right shoe, so you can really, really tell, and it smacks you in the face that this is a collaboration. For sizing on this bad boy, it is definitely going to be a little bit interesting for people who are usually wearing ASICS shoes. Normally in most ASICS shoes, like the Gel Kayano 14s, I go with my true to size and I feel really, really comfortable in them. I like a nice tight fit with a little tiny bit of wiggle room around the end of the toes, but I usually like a tight fit. And these shoes, I went with my true to size because that was the size that was available at the time. And I really wish that I had gone with half a size down. So I'm usually a 9, which is a 42.5 in Euro sizing. I wish I had gone with an 8.5, which is a 42 in Euro sizing, because I just wish that it fit just a little bit more snug. So I tried to tighten them up a fair bit more than I usually would, and I still felt like I had a little bit too much room around the toe and also a little bit too much room around the sides of the foot. So these shoes are definitely one for the wide footers. I know there's a lot of shoes out there like the Sambas that are definitely not wide foot friendly. So this is the opposite. I would say this is definitely for the people with the wide feet. I felt okay around the ankle. I felt no heel slippage. It was very nice lockdowns, but I definitely didn't like how much room I had around the toe. So overall, I would go half a size down if you like a nice true fit. For comfort on this shoe, that was another interesting one. So these GEL NYCs are usually very comfortable, and I've worn them for multiple days in these other colorways that I have, and I didn't have any problems. It was nice and soft straight out of the box. It was nice and wearable. The arch support and the heel support and the torsional rigidity, especially due to this little plastic plate here, is very nice. However, one major thing that I did not like about this shoe was the tongue. So this tongue, if it's really hard to show on camera, but this tongue is actually rather thick, and it's actually has a really, really thick lining of suede just on the top, which when you have it up against the side of the shoe, and then you obviously have your foot inside of it, it really felt like it was pressing up against my ankle, and I really didn't enjoy that. I tried to lace it over and then under just to see if that would make any difference. I tried to lace it up one lace hole down, but then it felt a little bit too loose. So honestly, with this one, I wasn't that happy with how tight the tongue felt. I'm sure with time, you'd be able to make these shoes feel a little bit better, but that's just one thing. With the comfort, I didn't really enjoy how much the tongue was digging into my ankle. But yeah, just something to be aware of. Maybe if you just wore thick socks, it would probably cancel out that digging into your foot. Just going to quickly touch on the box as well. So it came in a very nice brown box. It had the ASICS and PLEASURES co-branding down there in the pink. It didn't come with any special paper or anything, so it's just like this generic white paper. And you have a pair of yellow laces, which I probably won't be putting in there because I do like the brown ones. So yeah, ASICS GEL-NYC Pleasures. This is definitely one for the closet. You can definitely put these ones up. They're almost like a showpiece, like an art piece. They have this really nice pink. They have the really nice yellows. The brown is beautiful. I don't know what it is about the brown shoes that I've been on lately. I've gotten so many brown shoes lately and I'm just loving them. So thank you so much to everyone who has watched and subscribed over the last few weeks. It's really appreciated. Thank you so much to everybody for watching. You have a good day.